Ajaha, an older man with a bald head and snowy white hair around the edges, stood on a metal step, his muscular form casting a formidable shadow. He peered into a large cavity lined with smooth, purple-like tissue. The device's outer shell wasn't flesh, but thick metal armor. Turning towards the opening, he looked out across a sea of soldiers, his aged yet piercing eyes scanning the battlefield. "Can you believe these Azurians?" Shaha chuckled, addressing the nearby soldiers who were covered in light armor and keffiyehs. "They still think they can push us around. Not anymore, not while I'm not their prisoner." A soldier grinned, leaning on his spear. "Yeah, they'll be in for a surprise, like a boar charging at a mirror. They won't know what hit them." Shaha laughed heartily, his face crinkling with lines of age and experience. "Exactly! They'll see their own fear reflected back at them." Another soldier piped up. "And you, Shaha, you're the biggest mirror we've got." Shaha gave a mock bow. "I aim to shine, my friends." Slowly, Shaha leaned back into the machine, allowing himself to rest inside. He took one last breath of fresh air before the squires, young and eager, lowered the front of the suit, sealing him inside, his comrades' laughter and banter fading behind the closing hatch. A humid darkness enveloped him, and the heat washed over him immediately, causing sweat to drip down his muscular back and small drops to cover his face. A low hum resonated as Jaha felt a sharp pain in his neck. A small tube spiked into his carotid artery, pumping his blood and circulating it into the tube's membrane. His eyes, bloodshot from years of battles and struggles, rolled back. His vision shifted from the machine's interior to what the machine saw. The view flickered a few times. Dizzy, Jaha observed the hazy outlines of the enemy army. Beside him stood hundreds of soldiers with shields and spears, their expressions determined under their keffiyehs. Suddenly his air supply cut off. Jaha gasped, his face pressing against the smooth material. Then a plume of air burst out of the face mask at the front of the machine, and he took a deep breath, the outside air filling his lungs. He heard the two men checking off their list, ensuring he was battle-ready. His vision included several gauges set along its periphery, measuring the energy output from the glyph crystals inside the device and the heat produced, all within normal levels. "These Azurian bastards won't know what hit them," Jaha growled, his voice echoing inside the suit. "After 200 years in their chains, this is my moment for revenge." Using the device always unsettled Jaha. It felt as if he were no longer in control of his body, merely a passive observer, sending instructions to a body that was no longer his. He could now see the enemy army's flags. They were fast approaching. His focus, however, was not on the advancing soldiers. Behind them, hidden among the rods of metal, heavy cavalry lay in wait, poised to decimate his brothers in arms. The terror of being inside the machine was perhaps matched only by the terror of being outside it. "Time to make history, Jaha," the squire shouted, his voice barely audible through the thick armor. "Show them what 2 centuries of rage looks like!" Jaha nodded inside his suit, a fierce determination burning in his eyes. "This is for every moment I spent in their chains. Today they'll regret ever crossing me." Then the moment arrived. Jaha watched as the enemy line broke under a charge of horses. He heard a loud clank outside and looked down to see a squire waving him forward. A blast of purple light shot from the back of his heels as he charged towards the Azurian army, ill-armored, with most only having a helm, except for the knights, who were fully armored. Towering twice the height of the men on horseback, his shield alone was mighty enough to block several attackers. Drawing a large cleaver from his shield, he charged at full speed towards the oncoming cavalry. The horses screamed, and Jaha ground his teeth, raising his massive blade. Upon meeting the cavalry, he swung, sending a wave of blood and body parts splashing over his armor. "Let this be the day they learn to fear the name Jaha," he bellowed, his voice reverberating inside the suit. Hey everyone! Quick update before you go. Every weekday morning at 8 a.m. EST, join me for fresh writing tips to kickstart your creativity. And for something a bit more interactive, come to our live streams. We're live at 9 p.m. EST every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's a great place to chat, learn, and share your writing journey. Special treat for Saturdays. I'll be sharing a unique short story each week. Got a story idea? Let me know, and it might just be featured. So hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. You won't want to miss any of this. Keep writing, and I'll see you in the next video.